the gaps are being filled. They're being filled by archaeology, where archaeologists are digging up evidence, evidence that we didn't know existed. So to give an example, a boat has been found in the Nigeria region in Yobe State, and that boat archaeologists have dated to between 6,000 BC and 6,500 BC.
Wow.
The oldest boat in Africa and the third oldest known boat in the world.
Wow.
Again, no one knew that that was there until a Nigerian gentleman called Malam Yao found it in his, he was digging a water cistern, couldn't dig any deeper, wanted to know why, and then eventually the authorities got involved and then conducted an excavation. They found the oldest boat in Africa.
Wow. Wow. How did Europeans strategically erase African contributions from history? And why was that erasing so central to their global dominance?
A number of scholars have broke down precisely how it was done. The most important one being the African-American social scientist, Professor Chancellor James Williams. His book is called The Destruction of Black Civilization. Okay, let me summarize. Essentially, there were a number of ways that the erasure of Black history was done. One was to simply destroy the evidence. And so you would get cities that were destroyed, and during the colonial period, they were not allowed to be rebuilt. And let me give you an example of that. Britain conquered the Empire of Benin. The Empire of Benin is in modern Nigeria. And the Benin Palace, according to Captain Richard Burton, could comfortably accommodate 15,000 people. That's the scale.
Wow.
When the British destroyed it in 1897, the rulers of Benin, they're known as the Obas of Benin, were not allowed to rebuild. So consequently, what's there now is a fraction of the 15,000 accommodation size. Do you see? Why weren't they allowed to rebuild? Because it would then become a symbol of pride for the people and would then help them psychologically to uplift them in the fight against colonialism. Because when the colonials are saying you people are backward and inferior, they could say, but look at this. Right. But if they're not allowed to look at this because it's been destroyed and you're not allowed to rebuild. Again, also with Benin, there was a series of walls and trenches that the people of Benin built. And according to the Guinness Book of World Records, it's the largest construction work in human history prior to the modern mechanical period. They estimated between 5,000 and 8,000 miles worth of walling. We now know that figure is wrong. It's actually 10,000 miles worth of walling. So you may wonder, well, what happened to it? Destroyed in 1897 by the British. Same thing, they were not allowed to rebuild. Why? Because it would then become a symbol of pride. So what's there now is ruins that would actually need to be restored so that people can see the grandeur of what was there. So that's one thing you can destroy. The second thing is you can seize the evidence. Using the example of Benin, there were upwards of 2,000 pieces of fine art that were seized and are in London institutions, Parisian institutions, Stuttgart and Berlin institutions. They're not in Nigeria. Now, what are they doing in London? Because these pieces, each one represents millions of pounds worth of net worth. And if you've got 2,000 pieces and each one is millions of pounds worth of net worth, essentially it's billions of pounds of net worth that has been denied to Nigeria and is enriching London, Paris, Stuttgart. And also, unless the people in London display that and display it properly, you don't know that stuff ever existed. So they can say, but, you guys have nothing. And they're right, because it's in London or it's in Stuttgart. Do you see? And essentially, that's another way that you just asset strip. The next thing is to say that, yes, Africa has history, but black people have no part in that history. So yeah, you black people, you were in ancient Egypt, but you were the slaves in ancient Egypt. You weren't the ancient Egyptians. And then come with physical, anthropological lies to make the ancient Egyptians a different race to black people. Make the ancient Carthaginians a different race to black people. And until very recently, there were books as recently as 1980 that claim that the people of Ethiopia are a different race to black people. And same thing, there are any black people in Ethiopia? You guys were the slaves. And this is the kind of rubbish. And so it became very difficult for a black person to read a mainstream book and get any pride out of it, because either the stuff would be denied or it would be presented in such a way that that wasn't you. Yeah, you were there, but you were only the slaves that were there. And this is the kind of nonsense that the Eurocentrists were able to get away with.
The history of the Moors in Spain and Portugal has been heavily distorted. Can you share the truth about their reign and how historians work to whitewash their African origins?
Yeah, the Moors is a complicated history. It's very, very complicated. And all of Moorish history doesn't belong to black people. So we need to pull out which bits do and which bits don't.